I'd say I'm back, but I never left. I just got a full-time job again. Hey readers, remember James Gunn? You know, that guy who tweeted all that unfunny shit back when he was first hired to direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1? Then apologized for said tweets, actually became a better human being, and succeeded in turning a talking tree and a talking raccoon into household names. Then, because of making one of the most successful sequels in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that didn't involve a giant purple baby boomer raisin with a charm fetish, was tapped on the shoulder to plan out the cosmic end of the MCU after he finished his third installment of the franchise, then was fired from said franchise minutes before San Diego Comic-Con, when those same tweets were brought up again years later, as if he just tweeted those bitches out last week, by a documented rapist who clearly has enough privilege to not have to know what the phrase "practice what you preach" means. All because Disney's concept of respectability politics are as old as the racist and stereotypical animated depictions of minorities that they should have been canceled themselves over. Real talk. You know, that James Gunn? Well, he's over at DC now. More specifically, he's agreed to write the script for the DCEU movie sequel that was literally reshot and edited to mimic the feel of Guardians of the Galaxy and try and get the revenue of its target audience, Suicide Squad. I'm sorry, did you think that was not Warner Brothers' intention with the final cut of Suicide Squad that we got? We're just gonna pretend that that wasn't what they were trying to do? Because I'm pretty sure that was what they were trying to do. Now, I say agreed because writing the script is the only thing that has been solidified as of now. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that as far as Warner Brothers trying to get James Gunn on board the DCEU, DC Films and Warner Brothers are trying to wring out as much water from this rag as they can get. Because while talks about him writing the new Suicide Squad have pretty much solidified, Warner Brothers is now trying to get him to direct the new Suicide Squad. It's also going to be a new take on Suicide Squad, but will still feature Harley, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Joker. And with the first one spawning Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey spin-offs, it's unclear whether Gunn's new direction means recasting certain characters or a soft reboot overall. And honestly, I'm fine with this. And not just because of the rehired James Gunn movement or the entirety of its principle, which I will get to in a moment. Warner Brothers hiring James Gunn to both write and direct the Suicide Squad movie is pretty much the best thing that they could do considering what they were trying to accomplish with the property to begin with. After all, they Frankensteined David Ayer's original version of the movie with another version of the movie with the intent to try and make Guardians of the Galaxy money. So what better way to properly acquire Guardians of the Galaxy money than by hiring the motherfucker responsible for the Guardians of the Galaxy having money to begin with? It also means that there's a possibility Dave Bautista will actually be in a DCEU movie, which was something I didn't realize I wanted until I found out that he could actually act. And trust me, readers, he's just as excited about the idea as I am. And speaking of my thoughts on the overall principle of the thing, I'm going to say this. You can probably tell by the overall tone of this video and my overall thoughts on the matter that my opinions have shifted quite a bit since the last time I talked about James Gunn's firing from Marvel Studios. While I still find that what James Gunn tweeted out all those years ago was absolute unfunny garbage, I've seen and read testimonials both from his peers and from himself that prove that not only was his initial apology sincere, but that there is documented proof of James becoming a better person ever since joining the MCU. It's reflected in the quality of his work and how he currently holds himself. Bob Iger and the multitudes of executives over at Disney fell for a trap card in the game of Duel Monsters that was supposed to be on the banned list for this tournament. But a greasy neck-bearded fuck that isn't allowed to be near any public schools, along with a group of his friends, found a way to sneak them past check-in. And before some of y'all argue the matter, no, there is a difference between James Gunn's firing and Roseanne's firing. There are plenty of resources, not only on YouTube, but on the internet as a whole, that properly explains the difference between the two. But the one that I use is the content of their character when they were initially fired versus where they are now. And as far as James Gunn is concerned, he takes the gold, bitch. Don't believe me? I present Exhibit A.
I thought the bitch was white! God damn it! I thought the bitch was white!
Disney, as they have been since they began evolving into LexCorp, had an opportunity to stand against the tweets. They had the opportunity to say, hey, this is old news. He apologized for this shit. He's become a better person since we gave him this gig. He our boy for life now. Take your witch hunt somewhere else. But they didn't. They did what was safe, what they thought would cause the least damage, and keep the most money in everybody's pockets considering today's current political climate. And now that James Gunn has been tapped on the shoulders of Marvel's current competition, I want Disney to feel this. I want them to feel the fuck out of it. I want the idea to sink in that because they either didn't make a move when the tweets were fresh, or that they didn't want to get wrapped up in the whole pariah of Hollywood's current politics, they lost one of the greatest creative assets to ever walk through the doors of Marvel Studios to DC Films. And while the lack of it clearly doesn't play a part of it, considering that he's accepted the writing gig and he's currently being wined and dined for the directing gig, how much James Gunn will be making with Warner Brothers and DC compared to Disney and Marvel is irrelevant at this time. Because Joker from The Dark Knight said it best.
It's not about money, it's about sending a message. Everything burns.
But I digress, readers. Your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below what you think of James Gunn writing and possibly directing the follow-up to Suicide Squad. Are you stoked about it? Are you cautious? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you want to help financially support the channel, you can purchase official merchandise by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description down below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.